The Republic capital world of Coruscant is in chaos. Above, a maelstrom of laser fire and exploding starships paints the sky. Below, the city planet trembles from the relentless assault. Amidst the deafening roar of battle, a signal cuts through the static. A frantic report from the Separatist flagship, the Invisible Hand. General Grievous, voice raspy with exertion, transmits a message of triumph. "I have captured the Chancellor. He is here." The recipient of this pivotal message is Count Dooku, not on the bridge of a warship amidst the chaos he has orchestrated, but in a dimly lit, almost monastic chamber, perhaps on a remote Separatist stronghold. His posture is regal, composed. He listens, his face unreadable, devoid of the frantic energy that defines Grievous. This is a deleted scene from Revenge of the Sith, a small, quiet moment amidst the galaxy-spanning conflict, yet one that speaks volumes about Dooku's true position in the grand design. When Grievous delivers his news, the capture of Supreme Chancellor Palpatine, the very symbol of the Republic, Dooku's response isn't one of wild jubilation or desperate urgency. Instead, it's calm, almost weary, yet imbued with an unwavering authority. He instructs Grievous with crisp precision. "Bring him to me, General, and deal with the Jedi. They are a nuisance." His voice holds no doubt, no fear. It is the voice of a leader in absolute command, a man who believes he has reached the precipice of his greatest victory. This brief interaction, just a few lines of dialogue, shows Dooku at the absolute zenith of his power. For years, he had been the public face of the Separatist alliance, a charismatic and formidable figure who had drawn countless systems away from the Galactic Republic. A former Jedi Master, disillusioned by the corruption he perceived within the Republic and the Jedi Order itself, Dooku saw himself as a liberator, a necessary force to tear down a crumbling system and rebuild it anew. He believed he was waging a righteous war, guided by his vision for a stronger, more efficient galaxy. The capture of the Chancellor, the supposed leader of the Republic, was the culmination of everything Dooku had worked for. It was the decisive blow, the moment that would surely shatter the Republic's resolve and bring an end to the brutal Clone Wars. He had planned, he had fought, he had sacrificed, all for this moment. In his mind, he stood on the verge of his greatest triumph, the architect of a new galactic order. He was the confident leader of a galactic rebellion, about to witness the fall of his adversary. The look in his eyes, had we seen it, would likely have been one of supreme confidence, even a quiet pride. And this, friends, is where the heartbreaking, dramatic irony of this deleted scene truly begins to unfold. Because Dooku, for all his intelligence, his power, and his convictions, had absolutely no idea that this victory, this moment of perceived glory, was a meticulously constructed trap. He was not the architect of the new order, he was merely a tool, a stepping stone in a far grander, more sinister scheme. The Chancellor he had so proudly captured, Palpatine, was in fact his own master, Darth Sidious. The war he had fought so valiantly was not his. Every move, every battle, every strategic decision had been orchestrated by the same man Dooku was now so confidently instructing Grievous to deliver. The entire Clone Wars, in truth, had been a charade, a means to an end for Palpatine to consolidate power, eliminate the Jedi, and ultimately transform the Republic into his galactic empire. Dooku believed he was striking the final blow against the Republic, but in reality, he was delivering himself and the Separatist cause he championed into Sidious's waiting hands. He was a pawn, an incredibly powerful and influential pawn, but a pawn nonetheless. His moment of triumph was in fact the prelude to his own execution. The captured Chancellor was not a prisoner of war. He was the puppet master, pulling the strings of both sides, patiently waiting for the opportune moment to discard his old apprentice and embrace a new, more powerful one. The tragic reality for Dooku is that his entire life's work, his rebellion, his vision had been nothing more than a carefully staged act for the benefit of Darth Sidious. He was a stepping stone for Anakin's transformation into Darth Vader. His defeat, far from being a setback for Sidious, was a necessary and deliberate step in his master's grand plan. When Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker eventually board the Invisible Hand, they are not there to rescue Palpatine in the traditional sense, but to fulfill Sidious's true objective, the elimination of Dooku and the seduction of Anakin. Dooku's final moments, fighting against the two Jedi who were effectively his executioners, must have been a bewildering, terrifying awakening to the true nature of his situation. The confident leader of the rebellion, who moments earlier was calmly instructing his general, was now a disposable asset. This deleted scene, though brief, offers a profound layer of dramatic irony to the Star Wars saga. It highlights the ruthlessness of Palpatine's manipulation and the extent of his long-game strategy. It underscores the tragedy of Dooku, a man who genuinely believed he was on the right side of history, only to discover he was a sacrificial lamb in a cosmic game of chess. His peak was, in truth, his precipice. It serves as a powerful reminder that in the shadow of grand ambition, there can often be unseen hands pulling the strings, and that even the most powerful figures can be unwitting participants in a larger, more devastating narrative. Dooku's calm confidence in that quiet chamber, moments before his doom, is a poignant, almost heartbreaking portrait of a man completely oblivious to the cruelest trap ever laid. What are your thoughts on this deleted scene? Does it change your perception of Dooku or Palpatine's cunning? Share your insights in the comments below. If you enjoyed this thoughtful exploration, consider subscribing or following for more deep dives into the stories that shape our imagination. Until next time, may the Force be with you.